And then there's Stroud, who looked amazing. I'm telling you, man. I mean, he would just flip it, and the spiral would just drop in the bucket, no matter what route he was throwing. What's the talk about him maybe in first overall coming out of the combine?
Yeah, I think it's in play. I think he's very much in play to be the top quarterback picked. I think he's the best pure passer. Just, when you watch him, you make the comment, you make the observation when you're watching him, like, this guy just looks like he's been throwing a football his whole life. It comes out so smooth. When he throws that deep ball, he's got kind of a nice little natural whip to it, and the ball has got unbelievable spin. And everything was on target. It's hard to be on target consistently when you're throwing to a bunch of guys you've never thrown to before. But everything he threw was on the proper shoulder. He had the proper trajectory. Some of the guys throw a deep ball was a little bit flat. As impressive as Richardson was, there were some deep balls with balls a little bit flat. With C.J. Stroud, every ball just had the perfect trajectory and dropped it in the bucket, as you said, Rich, and looked like he had such a calm and cool about him. The word that I came away with saying, if you had to describe what we saw with him, I don't know that I use this word often with quarterbacks, but it was graceful.
Yeah, it sure was. There's no question about it. I mean, his every move was very smooth, and so were his throws. We spoke to Richardson yesterday, and he met with a ton of teams, man. I mean, the teams that you'd expect, including Tennessee, Tampa, Washington. Interestingly, New England, we all know that Belichick likes to just kick tires, right? Just so he knows when he faces them. Unless, who knows?
Forgot to defend him, yeah.
Right? I mean, the Jets are one of them. But what about the idea of Richardson testing so well? His pro day, no doubt, will be like a Christmas tree lighting up. Could he be number one overall too, Daniel?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's a chance that, I would say Levis, and I don't see him having a chance to emerge as the top quarterback, but I think it is a three-person race, and I would not be stunned or surprised at any of the three. I think when people are watching that and you're seeing how Anthony Richardson is moving around, he has a strong arm. I thought he was smoother with his footwork than maybe even I anticipated. I've seen strides he's continuing to make there. But when you think about it, we saw this guy run a 4.4. To put it in context, Rich, he's the same size he's almost identical to the same size as Big Ben. Like, think about that. Think about Big Ben and how big he looks on a football field, and then think about Big Ben running in the mid-4.4s. It's just stupid.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I know. It is stupid. But, I mean, can he start now? I mean, I asked him, and I knew what his answer would be, but he was very full of conviction. Day one, week one, he's ready to go. Well, your evaluation would be what? I mean, would that be a problem? Is there so let me just ask, does he need to get lucky and wind up with a team that's willing to redshirt him? Didn't you mention that on the air at one point about him?
I like the idea of redshirting him just to get him even more comfortable and to work through, some things throwing-wise, which I've already seen improvement from what we saw in the fall to what we saw at the combine.
Right.
I'd like to buy a little time. It's hard nowadays to buy a whole year, but even if you could buy him 6 weeks, just to get comfortable and then put him out there. But I mean, make no mistake about it. When he gets onto the field initially, he's going to major with his legs and minor with his arm. Like you're gonna really use his legs, and that's something that we've seen Fields, even though they didn't win a lot of games, he made them competitive really with his legs. So I think Richardson goes out there and he can do all that plus with his legs, and then hey, let's just keep on that track that he's on right now of improving. The one thing you want to be a little bit realistic here, Rich, because I know that the Cam Newton comparison is thrown out there, and Cam Newton didn't play a ton of ball in college and all that. That Auburn team that Cam Newton was on did not have much talent on offense, and they went undefeated, won a national championship when he won the Heisman Trophy. So I feel like maybe let's not be so quick to put him in Cam's class in terms of what he's accomplished and who he is right now.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.